All right, so now we move on to the next fight. This one's Davi, the Tasmanian Devil Ramos versus Arman Tsarukyan at 155 pounds. Davi Ramos, he's Brazilian. He's 10-3. He's 33 years old. He's 5 feet 6 inches tall, and he's 4-2 in the UFC. And Arman Tsarukyan, he's Armenian. He's 14-2. He's 23 years old, so he's fairly young. He's 5 feet 8 inches tall, and he's 1-1 in the UFC. Tell me a little bit about these guys.
When you look at both these guys right away, you notice that they both have a similar loss.
Mm-hmm.
Islam Makhachev?
Yeah,
Makhachev, is that how you say his name?
It's like a Makhachev.
Yeah. They both have decision losses to him.
Islam's tough, though.
He's very tough.
That guy's a monster, and they both got decision losses.
They both have decision losses to Islam, and he's Khabib's teammate, isn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah,
they're both out of Dagestan out there. So
he's a good wrestler, so you know right away that if you're going to a decision with this guy, you've got some skill, I would say. I mean, you didn't get out grappled too bad.
No.
you did good enough to keep it from getting tapped. So with Arman, you know, I really liked his stand up. And I think he was, what kind of wrestling did they say he had? He has some pretty good wrestling. His counter wrestling is really good too.
I did like his wrestling. What happened there with that, though, is he's at the Muay Thai camp, and so he wrestled growing up a little bit. But in his last fight, when he was training for the Islam, he was training with World Championship wrestlers.
Yeah.
So he brought in a lot of high-level wrestlers to, try to help bridge that gap there, which is smart to do.
Very smart.
So if he's doing these type of things, it's going to make it a very difficult night because he's bringing the right type of guys in to put him in the best position to win.
Yeah, and so I think Ramos, he's a submission guy.
Yes.
So it's going to be a good one. I've got some weird notes down there. I think I wrote some things for the other fight on this one. Damn it. I did. So my notes are a little messed up, but Davi is
Davi Ramos. Yeah.
His striking, he's a real patient striker. He doesn't throw with a lot of volume.
Yeah.
But he'll stalk you.
You know who it kind of reminds me of? It reminds me of looking at Husamir Palhares.
Yeah.
They have a very similar body type. They're very, very similar in the way that they just kind of stalk you, and then they throw really heavy once they get close to you.
Yeah. And then they're both beasts on the ground. So there's that.
Yeah. So Davi Ramos, he's actually a third-degree Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt.
Nope.
In the UFC right now, he's got submission wins over Chris Gutzmacher, Nick Hain, and John Gunther. So he's already submitted a lot of guys. He's the 2015 ADCC World Champion. 2006, he was a World Jiu-Jitsu silver medalist. In 2011, he was the No-Gi Jiu-Jitsu bronze medalist. Overall, he has 7 wins by submissions, and all of his losses come by decision, though. So he does tire down a little bit, and that's because he puts so much power behind everything that he does. And like you were talking about him being a patient striker, he doesn't have the build to go balls to the wall all the time.
No.
With the way that he wants to throw that power, he has to be a little bit more patient to try to preserve energy for the later rounds.
Yeah.
So, I thought that was a little bit interesting there. But with Arman, like you said, he had he's got pretty good wrestling.
His wrestling's there.
Yeah, he's an Armenian guy. He's 1-1 in the UFC. His loss, like we said, is to Islam, which is no.
It's not a bad loss.
It's not a bad loss. But then he beat Oliver Aubin Mercier.
Yep, and that's a good win.
And that's a really good win. So that's a tough guy to beat right there. And then if you look at it, in 2018, he went and he tried out for the legendary Tiger Muay Thai team. And if you haven't seen it, they have videos on YouTube. It's a legendary process. It's very similar. It reminds me of the people trying to join special forces and stuff like that. They put you through hell. They put you through these crazy, crazy workouts. It's not nearly as long as trying to become a SEAL or anything like that, but it's like a week or something like that. And they bring in guys from all over the world, and they only take the best at the end. They weed guys out all throughout the entire time that they're there. People are leaving for broken bones, injuries, concussions, and stuff like that. It's a brutal tryout process.
Yeah.
And he won that. So he got to he got a year contract with them where he gets to train there for a year. He's back there right now. So he's done some pretty awesome stuff as far as impressing those guys, and they have a legendary tryout process. He's just a monster overall.
I agree.
So so I'm pretty excited about him. He has wins over Felipe Olivier and Junior Asensio, former UFC guys. So he's beaten some other UFC caliber guys, just not inside of the UFC yet.
Right.
Besides the one that we talked about with Oliver Oben Mercier. But I think it's going down to the ground eventually. And if it goes down to the ground, Davi's got the definite advantage. He's a world champion. And I think that he's going to end up getting it down. And he's going to submit him in the third round after he wears him out a little bit.
See, I disagree.
Well,
disagree right there.
We're disagreeing right there.
Yeah, they're right. So if you look at it, I think that the way that Islam, he did get some takedowns on Tsarukyan.
It was
but
very hard to take him down.
It was extremely difficult for him to take Tsarukyan down.
And Tsarukyan was the first guy in the UFC to take him down.
Yes. And Tsarukyan's counter wrestling, I think that he knows that he's going to be at a disadvantage on the ground. So I think he's going to do what he can to keep it standing. I think he's strong enough to keep it standing.
I thought he was slower on
I think he's going to keep it standing, and I think he's going to end up knocking Ramos out in the second round.
Well, we'll find out.